Hello, on this week's episode, I talk about having another child. Are men in maternity wards useless, and are the women brilliant? And what is the exception to the rule, and what is the adverse example of it? I talk about being on tour, the skill in solitude, a little bit of Peaky Blinders, comedy awards, Chelsea FC going down the toilet, where they belong. Very exciting times. I'm nominated for a Chortle Award for Best Show. You can follow the link down there and vote for me if you like me. I'd love that. I'll put the link up everywhere, but vote for me, vote for Adam Rowe, vote for the Have a Word podcast. Vote for all of my brilliant friends. And the other people who are great. Who are your favourites? There's no right or wrong answers, but me, I need it more than anybody else who I'm nominated next to, I think. Or they don't know their personal situations or how much they really care. Anyway, I do care. 8 out of 10. So if anybody cares 9 out of 10, then vote for them. Anyway, I'm the best. If you think so, then vote for that. I'm not really sure. I probably do believe that, but then I'm me. It's in my interest to believe that. This is, for fuck's sake, please like the video if you're watching on video. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please leave a nice review if you're listening to the podcast on whatever podcast app you're listening to. Wow, what an intro. This is the Alfie Brown Show. Here we are again in the podcast. The tour has rendered the days of release for this podcast slightly irregular, for which, if that has affected the quality of your life, I can only apologise. But the chaos and the hustle of a tour and a pregnant partner who is suffering with some post-viral fatigue, I have to tell you that it just fell by the wayside slightly, and I can only apologise. Well, I could do it regularly. I could do more than only apologise. I could just do it more regularly. But the baby's almost due, which means that we're going to have to embark upon another hospital visit, another session of being ignored by various nurses and midwives. For me, that's my experience, of course. The experience for Jessie will be to have the child. More difficult than being ignored. And if you are having a child, probably better that you are the one that is the focus of attention, I suppose, if we were really being pernickety about it. But, you know, every now and again would be nice to have somebody go, you're the dad, are you? Oh, nice. Oh, that's good. Well done. Or are you like, I suppose you just become so bludgeoned by bad experiences with men in hospital delivery rooms, perhaps, that you tend to sort of cast all men as these sort of villainous losers who could never understand the majesty and magic of what it is they're sort of idly spectating on. They're just going, well, you just fucking have a baby then, and I'll slump in this chair and check my phone for a bit. In fact, now I'm explaining it like this, I think I've gone off men in maternity wards as well. Men in maternity wards. Ugh. They could never know. All we can do is just kind of go, oh, good for you. Well done. I think you're brilliant. I think you're very strong and brilliant. And we'll never know. We'll just be guessing. Oh, well, you are making a fuss, so I assume it is painful. I mean, how could I know? Like, maybe it's not. Maybe it's the greatest trick the devil ever played. Just, I know what would be good if we got loads of attention for. Just let's all just don't tell any men, but we'll make a big thing out of childbirth. Pretend it really hurts. But whatever you've done, it's succeeded. It certainly, I'm sold on the idea that it certainly seems painful, a big deal, and incredibly dangerous and exhausting thing to put your body through. It makes sense that it would be a great trial for your body to embark upon if we think about what it is, and you've got to have the information in your DNA. Like, I know how to make eyes. You're making eyes without even looking. How do you do that? How do you make eyes? Like, oh, yeah, well, how do you know they're going to work? I made 6 eyes before, so I'm pretty sure the 7th and the 8th are going to be absolutely bob on. I mean, I've done great things making eyes in the past, and I didn't even need to use mine to do it. So, obviously, they just built. I was doing fingernails at the same time. Yeah. And then, as Father John Misty says, our brains are too big for our mother's hips. So nature, she divines an alternative. We emerge half-formed and hope whoever meets us on the other end is kind enough to let us in. Because, that's how we've evolved. We are born, like, fucked, aren't we? We're born fucked. Like helpless and stupid and rubbish. We're born newborns are rubbish. I've touched on that before. But then, like, over time, we'll go, well, just look, this is shit now. Because, like, a deer can have a deer, or like a baby deer, fawn, like veal. They can have that, and it's like going, oh, it was weird being in my mum, but now I'm standing up immediately, and I'll just sort of tag along for a bit, shall I? Whereas, your newborn baby, you just stick it on a table, won't even fall off. It can't even turn itself over. They are useless, fucking useless things. But that is the exchange we make. We have the baby way before it's developed enough. And I think it's probably best that we aren't, like, more mentally developed when we're born. Because I don't know about you, but I'm glad that, like, the birth of me is something that I don't remember. I think I'd have a much more awkward relationship with my mum if I could remember coming out of her. Like, oh my God, mum, put it away, mum. It's embarrassing. No, I'm not thirsty. Put that away, mum. Whereas where we are now, like, I was just, I didn't have, my shame facility hadn't been created in my brain yet. So I'd not yet had the apple from the Garden of Eden and lost my innocence. I wasn't ashamed of being naked, shitting myself, or suckling at my mother. So probably better that we're born when we are. Women are brilliant for doing that. Oh, well, the good ones, the shit ones are not. That's just one of those, stupid things that people say. Women are so brilliant for having babies. Well, yeah, the good ones are, but some mums are shit, aren't they? I was lucky enough to have a wonderful mother, and so are many other people. And Jessie has a wonderful mother, but he is a wonderful mother. And I just know that it's not always the case, isn't it? It's just one of those meaningless things that people say to kind of win favour with a broad number of people. Oh God, But then lots of women are brilliant in that respect. So I suppose it's like the shit dads in the maternity ward. You just have enough shit dads in a maternity ward, and you just tend to believe, women are brave and brilliant, and men are shit and lazy. And that would be the pervading and kind of most lasting experience of being on a maternity ward. But were you somewhere else where men thrive and women are shit, and if you think I'm stupid enough to cite wherever that might be, where might that be? No, I can't think of anything, but I'm sure there is one. If you have examples of where men thrive and are at their very best, and women at their shittest, and they kind of go, they fuck it all up. Like, what would be the obverse example of the men in the maternity wards and the women in the maternity wards, where the women are the heroes and the men are the sort of sloth cretinous, idiot, villain people. Predominantly speaking, and the women are predominantly speaking better. But, there are exceptions to everything. We've all seen One Born in Every Minute. We've all seen a really brilliant dad and a bit of a shitty nightmare mum. But, exceptions don't prove rules, do they? So, a lot more men at war in Ukraine than there are women, I suppose. But also, what's the difference? Why men? Like, you don't need to be bigger and stronger to fire do you? I don't know. I've never fired an anti-aircraft, bit of anti-aircraft weaponry. And also, I don't know what the numbers are. I just know that the men were staying behind to get conscripted and the women and the children were leaving. So the other thing about having another child, or at least when you've got children and there's another one to come, is that your experience with the television, the children's television that you've endured over the last, however long, and the journey, the kind of the daisy chain of dog shit that you have to endure as a parent watching children's TV, because it goes from like the baby club, knock on your door. Hello, this is the baby club. Welcome to the baby club. And then they have like this funny kind of BBC thing that they do where they introduce the babies, and the babies are all from very various places because it's great to have like a diverse mixture of nationalities. And you can just feel in her voice that she's going, okay, you've got this, Giovanna. You've got this, Giovanna. Hello, Simon. It's nice to see you here. Hello, Predrag. Wherever. Lipo. Hello, Louts, you too. And then it goes on to Mr. Tumble, who sounds like Chris Tarrant. Hello, welcome to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? We're all friends. And he really is, he's got a sketch show. He's a fucking millionaire as well. I want to know what he spends his money on, because I bet it's disgusting. I bet he's a real creep. I bet he's spending his money on like bits of really kind of exotic kind of portraiture of like ever so slightly like beautiful, like, when you like Jermaine Greer, like she would be obsessed with like the beauty of the boy, and like it would be like there's just the symmetry, and it would be like an artistic and aesthetic beauty rather than a kind of romantic or sexual one, which is fine. That's obviously like the beauty of children. Children are beautiful, but like as long as you don't fancy them, that's the rule, isn't it? I was not actually checking. I know the rule. And it's not even a rule that I need to kind of remind myself is a rule. Making it sound like a rule is like, oh, rules are there to be broken. No, I don't need the rule. I have that system of, I wouldn't even need, even if it was not against the rules, I wouldn't anyway, because I've no interest. I've no interest. Okay. But that's what I bet he's got. Lots of, but with him, it's a real great. Yeah, oh, the God, it's just so beautiful, isn't it? That portrait. Yeah, it is. Why do you like it? Maybe that's extremely unfair, but it's not just. It's maybe he just has too much leopard print and zebra print everywhere. That's better. I prefer that. So don't respond to me what I said before about the Greg. Just because he's nice to children doesn't mean that's what we have to remind ourselves when we're riffing about the different way in which Mr. Tumble might kind of have a bizarre. I just don't believe that he can really be like that nice. And that's probably something about me, isn't it? That's probably more a reflection on my poor character rather than his. So yes, now if we're really investigating the crux of it. First of all, in real time, I regret the joke I made about I regret the joke I made about the beautiful children. Just the fact that that's what I think that he has. I think he's got just too much animal sculpture, like porcelain animal sculpture everywhere. And he's got money, but he has no idea. Like when Joey on Friends gets to be have his mirror that's a waterfall and it's tasteless, and he doesn't know how to be rich. And also he doesn't know how to dress rich, so he just ends up in a fleece the whole time. He's always in a fleece. Not even like a North Face one, not a nice one. It's not Patagonia. It's like a Black's own brand green fleece in this exceptionally large, gorgeous kind of house in Leighton Buzzard. I'm much happier with that framework, to the imaginary framework of weirdness to have placed him in, rather than the quite obvious sort of. But this is the thing with a sort of improvised podcast where it's just you speaking to the microphone. You can make jokes that you then go, no, come on, I'm better than that. And you'll get to hear that in real time, which might be satisfying for you, I think. So obviously that's the, where you're going to go. He presents children's TV. So you think, oh, it's a paedophile. That's a great joke. Well, and I didn't even expressly say that, did I? I said, like, there's just a weird sort of grey area where he doesn't know how to interpret the beauty of children properly. And it's kind of feelings mixed up in, is it beautiful or is it sexy? Oh, God, I don't know. Which is probably quite an interesting thing to talk about and investigate, but probably a little bit hack to associate Mr. Tumble with those sorts of confused ideas of like aesthetic kind of an erotic beauty. So there we go. We've all had a time for a bit of self-reflection. Then after Mr. Tumble, we move on to like Paw Patrol. Wow. Don't know if you heard that, listener, but that was my stomach rumbling. I haven't eaten yet today. I'm on a post-tour detox. Paw Patrol's good. What's the one where she's Owlette? PJ Masks. Anyway, as soon as you feel like you've left one of these things behind, suddenly, there's a new child on the horizon and you've got to revisit. You've got to go back to the fucking baby club again and hello, Lipo. It's nice that you've dressed up, or whatever the lyrics are. Hello. McTaggart. It's just, it just never stops. As soon as you get them to an old enough age where they're okay to watch The Simpsons, it all goes again. And then suddenly you're damaging another fucking 4-year-old with the episode where Marge and Homer fuck in the crazy golf bit, which is probably too much for a 7-year-old if I'm really thinking about it. And then you have to wait and save your TV for the evening. Adult grown-up TV at night. So you have to choose whether you want to watch the news or Peaky fucking Blinders again. Peaky Blinders. Jessie said something funny last night, where she said the best thing about Cillian Murphy is that he's really good at like dealing with bad actors. Like he really doesn't let it affect his own performance. He stays very stoic and delivers the same quality of performance, even in the face of Tom Hardy's absolutely mental performance as Alfie Solomons. I need a third act for my opera. What the fuck do you think you're talking about? You fucking what, Tommy Shelby? Oh, Mr. Ross, as you... It's like a fucking Tommy... Tommy, now you fucking listen here, Tommy. I need a third act for my film. Yes, Alfie. Completely bizarre, isn't it? Now you tell me what line I'm supposed to fucking cross there, Tommy. You say what, Tommy? Oh,
Oh, that's a bit weird, isn't it, Tommy? You come over all soft, haven't you? You fucking what?
Now then, Alfie, we are friends. Completely batty. Mental. But it is beautiful to be back from tour. On a juice cleanse now, after having had too much hotel food for the last few days. I will cleanse myself of all the ill that I've consumed. With juice and green powders and water and gym visits and ginger juice and all of that sort of stuff. And being like by yourself is a skill, especially away from home. But you can just find yourself in the same way that you feel like the utilization of hours is not the easiest thing in the world. You think, oh, right, I've got the whole day now. Well, first of all, you don't, because you're sort of traveling from place to place. And second of all, those hours can just fall out of your arse at such a rate, you know? You can find yourself just watching, like, you know, your Instagram feed or whatever. Not even reading. Reading takes like pragmatism and like a wherewithal. It's a forthright activity. You can't just find yourself reading suddenly. It's not a passive experience. It's an active experience. But that's what social media has done, is it's found a way to be an active, passive experience. You can just, you pick your phone up to do something and then passively just absorb dog shit for hours upon hours. And it's just a skill to not let yourself do that. If you have, your kids, then you go, oh, I've got these hours that I can do this with, and you don't need to think so hard about the fact that, oh, I've got this free time. I'd better not waste it, you think. So you immediately embark upon something, in the same way that the old fucking silly adage is that, if you want something done, get a busy person to do it, because they will be in the middle of doing something. So just got so much shit in my bag, unpaid parking tickets and stuff like that, and I'm not going to fucking pay them. They can just take them away, bastards. God, they're bastards. But I would like to develop the skill of solitude. Just for when I'm away next time, I would like to be better at it. I would like to, in the morning, be able to better, like, leap out of bed and do something immediately. Maybe the trick is to have a shower immediately. Maybe the trick is to, have a morning routine. Here's my morning routine to enhance my daily productivity. That's what they say, isn't it? Every YouTube video that does well features the word productivity in some way. And then everybody goes, oh, I could be productive. Not realizing the irony of what they're doing is not being productive. They're on YouTube, in fully clothed, but in bed. If the only reason that you have time to watch a productivity video on YouTube is because you're not being productive currently. Maybe that isn't to say that they don't work, or they're not good, or they're never good, or there isn't a way of taking those habits and building them into your own life. But it is bollocks, isn't it? Slightly, sometimes, perhaps. It is, there are too many of them now. Like, in the same way as self-help books, they're all about, like, 250 pages too long. There's no way that what you need to tell me, needs to exist over 300 pages. There's just no way. But you'd like the book to be £13 rather than £6. You'd like for it to be a thing. You're worried people won't respect it unless it's 350 to 400 pages. There's just no way it needs to be that long. Tell me, like, the Blinkist app. Has anybody ever used the Blinkist app? So yeah, let me know whatever I ask you to let me know before. Oh yeah, the examples of where men are brilliant and women are useless, if there is one. There must be. Maybe there isn't. Maybe I'm asking narrow questions. Who the fuck? I don't care. And now let me know whatever I need to know now. You can tell I've just been on tour because my eyes are fucked. My eyes are absolutely gone. I'm nominated, as I've probably mentioned in the intro to this. I'm nominated for a Chortle Comedy Award for Best Show. So stick that in your fucking pipe and smoke it. I'm nominated for Best Show at the Chortle Comedy Awards, and you can log on to chortle.co.uk. I'll put a link in the thingy below. And if you like, you could click on that link and vote for me and vote for Adam Rowe and the Have a Word podcast. And then after that, whoever you like. I like a lot of the people who are nominated for Breakthrough. Vote for Liz Kingsman for Breakthrough if you're going to vote for me in the thing. I need it more than anybody else, you know? That's that if you even if I'm not your favorite, and I doubt there is, who's seen Paul Sinha's show, Mark Watson's show, Liz Kingsman's show, and my show, and Kiri Pritchard McLean's show? Who's seen all those shows? Nobody. Which is sort of why the kind of audience voting thing is ever so slightly flawed, because it will be about who your favorite of those people is and not necessarily who has the best show. But it's me. I haven't seen any of those shows. I haven't even seen Liz Kingsman's show. I'm the only person who hasn't in the world. Very, very successful show. But to the extent that she doesn't need to win that award, I do. So vote for me. I need it. I need this. Can you hear me? I need your help. Please help me. I think it's nice that they're voted for by
you, the people.
Another bizarre comedy performance, made less bizarre by the fact that you can't see his face, but it's a similar.
Oh, so come on now, what are you doing? It's all from the back of the mouth, isn't it? And then you take it down,
and that's where like Bane resides, isn't it?
I have given it as a gift to you, and then you take the hands away and, oh, I'm Alfie Solomon's, what you doing, what you saying, Tommy, you don't smoke in my room. Oh.
I'm exaggerating it, obviously. I'm not committing to accuracy, perhaps in the way that my mother might, but she's a gifted impressionist, and I'm just a silly, silly man.
Now you tell me what line I'm supposed to fucking cross, Tommy.
It's not bad. You just need to commit to it. If you,
hello,
then you can go a bit like old Carry On kind of Tommy.
Oh, mister. Whereas if you fucking go for it, that's where the voice fucking resides, isn't it? He's always fucking, I need a third act.
Chelsea Football Club are going down the toilet. Very much right in the bin, where they belong, and where they've always belonged. And again, look, here's the thing, is that generalizations get us in trouble. But we all learned that we are affected by generalizations, by the broad by the broad experience of the things that we encounter. We are moved to make generalizations. And whilst that might not always be right, it is the way in which, I get treated in maternity wards. It is the way in which women get treated in maternity wards, even though exceptions don't prove rules. And the rules are that Chelsea fans are pig children. Fucking horrible, bad pigs. Moral runts, the angry and entitled, and you just see them do shit things more, I would say, than you see fans of other clubs doing shit things like pushing a black guy off a tube, or smashing up a town square on a visit away and then getting violent towards the waiter when he goes, "Hey, could you not smash up the sort of alfresco dining situation there?" I was hoping to turn over a few tables here later on this evening, and you smashed up the whole outside eating area, and are now sort of singing and pissing and sort of not pissing, but like, throwing your beers everywhere, and you've just punched me in the face. If you wouldn't mind not doing that, that would be so great for me. But they didn't take heed of that message or listen at all, because, as I said, they are fuck pigs, and that's why it's good if the football club ceases to exist. It has, even before the days of, and there's a sort of difference because, so if you're not a football fan, Chelsea in 2003 or 2004 got taken over by Roman Abramovich. Roman Abramovich made his money by forging documents to get stealing fuel from the Russian kind of people after the fall of the Soviet. Allegedly, I think. I'm not sure, so don't sue me, Roman. Not that you can. You've got nothing to sue me with. Your assets are frozen. And then in rigged bids, so like when bids were being made for the ownership of public companies that were becoming private at the fall of communist Russia, Soviet Union, he bought a lot of the seats on the bidding, so you could get the company for cheaper because they were rigged bids or something like that. Again, allegedly, I don't know, but that. And then he needed a way to make his a little bit of protection, basically, because he saw what happened to his friend Boris Berezovsky, who Putin went, "By the way, your news channel that you run and that you are always really nice to me on, for if I'm nice to you, well, I now own that and you need to run." So Boris Berezovsky lived in Isha, I think, and then killed himself because, he got used to being Billy Big Bollocks in Russia. And then when Putin went, "I'm actually Billy Big Bollocks now. Okay, goodbye." Roman sort of did the same thing, sort of access to the West, and by making himself extremely visible in the West and having a big part of the kind of cultural landscape here, he managed to protect himself against Vladimir Putin to an extent, and just was always trying to play nice with Vladimir, going, yeah, you can have whatever you want, or I don't know what the situation is, to be honest. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but it's all there in news articles or books. Putin's People, it's a good one. I just can't remember it all right now, because that's the thing with books. You read them and then you can't remember them. It's a fucking nightmare. Anyway, but even before Roman Abramovich came into Chelsea, they were kind of in trouble, but they were always extremely unlikable. Dennis Wise, I don't know if you remember him, but he was a very unlikable character, and kind of quite an unlikable football club. I don't know. Maybe that's just kind of my childhood playing tricks on me, but I couldn't stand them. And then he bought them, and they became extremely successful overnight, which seemed like same thing happened to Man City when the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, bought them. But Man City sort of seemed to have, to me at least, to seem to have this attitude of, "Oh wow, this is amazing, isn't it? Can't believe my luck." Ooh. Whereas when Chelsea got bought and they started winning everything, they seemed to have this attitude of, actually, that's always the way it should have been. Thank you very much for finally, this is where we belonged all along. And that's why we were behaving like that. And no, we're not going to stop behaving like that. So for them, and this is the thing, this is my real, the moral conundrum about it. I feel bad for enjoying and investing in the collapse of Chelsea Football Club in the context of, it shouldn't even matter to me in the context of the war, the atrocities, the violence, the murder, the danger, the psychopathic and meaningless death on such a huge scale, the collapse of Chelsea Football Club shouldn't matter to me. But the heart wants what it wants. So sorry, I can't help it. I absolutely, and I don't suppose it would be if the collapse of Chelsea Football Club was like in some way, obviously if I could choose, I'd choose for no war and for Chelsea to win the league. That's what I'd choose, obviously. But, just in the same way that I don't feel like it's a moral decision I've made not to have thoughts of the war. I'm still able to function as a human being. I'm still able to enjoy food. It's not ruining my life in the same way that I am, and therefore I'm able to enjoy the collapse and ruining of Chelsea Football Club, whilst I'm able to feel horrified and incredibly kind of emotionally engaged to an extent that I've never felt with any other conflict. And it is, lots has been made about why people care more about this war than perhaps the war in Yemen. And I think that rightly or wrongly, we've always had ideas of, conflicts in the Middle East as unstable. Also, it's a civil war, like nominally a civil war, although it's one of like the Iranian Saudi proxy wars that's, seem to have existed forever. And therefore, because it's a civil war that was born out of, rebellion against autocracy and then became a proxy war for something else, we sort of go, well, yeah, I can see how that, there've been lots of that about. And whilst it's awful, what's shocking about Russia's invasion of Ukraine is the cold and like the narrative shock of a calculated invasion, just a completely overt, brazen invasion of another sovereign nation. And then, I don't know, and I'm not saying I don't know when the last example of that was, so it's never happened. I just mean, like, even the war, the like Bosnia and whatnot in 1999, that was born out of the collapse of, the Soviet Union and Yugoslavia, and everybody trying to get together, like, where are these dividing lines drawn again? And of course, the attempted ethnic cleansing of the Kosovar Albanians. So it wasn't as, I don't actually know the history, so, maybe I should shut the fuck up. Or I should just say I don't know the history, so, you can look it up. You probably don't know either. You might do. But the thing is that nobody really knows anything. It's a good time for a little bit of intellectual humility. And the problem with intellectual humility is it can turn into moral cowardice. And that's probably an episode for another time. I must embark upon my day. I've got things. I need to buy some glasses. I don't know if you have this thing where you always seem to need to fucking buy something. I'm always looking up what I've got to buy, and it's a compulsion. The lines are so blurred for me between what I actually need and what I just want that I think will improve the quality of my life. I'm short-sighted. I need glasses. I like to read. I have to read with the book, touching my fucking nose before I can make head nor tail of it. Or not before I can make head nor tail of it, but just before I get a headache. So I would also like them for the blue light that I see when I look into my screen, when I'm writing my comedy or when I'm doing my podcasting or when I'm doing whatever it is I'm doing. I would like that. But, I mean, how much of this fucking shit that I constantly think that I need do I actually need? How brainwashed by advertising have I become? I wish there was a function on Instagram, like when can you just tell the Instagram advertising's, yeah, I've bought that now. Yeah, it worked. You don't need to, yeah, the keto vegan sugary cereal. Yeah, I bought it, mate. You don't need to show me it again. Please stop showing it me. That backpack I bought that backpack actually. Yeah. That phone case and that reusable cup. Yeah. I bought that all now. So please, could you just stop showing me it? Because you're just sort of reminding me of the fact that I was taken in. You're rubbing it in, the fact that I'm weak, you're strong, you win, you're right, I'm wrong, I'm part of the mechanism, I'm buying shit I don't need, suffering is everywhere and I'm indulging myself, somebody give me a hand job while somebody else dies. Just all of my horrid indulgence. Sure, but could you just let me see, this person curating the funniest TikToks that they've seen in their Instagram stories with sort of slightly superior, like funny quotes. Can you leave me to watch that now? Because I like that. It helps me be away and forget that I need glasses or a reusable coffee cup or teeth whitening gel. I bought teeth whitening gel. I never thought I would. But I realised my teeth are yellow, and the thing is that because it was for TV. I was recording my stand-up special. It's going to be released soon. I'll give you the release date when it happens. And when I was on there, I thought I don't want to get my teeth whitened, but everybody else has, and so that I wouldn't have in the context of regular teethed people, I would not have yellow teeth. But now I'm made to look like, oh yeah. Which one's Alfie special again? Oh, the one with the yellow teeth. Yeah, great. I'll watch that if I can keep my fucking lunch down. Disgusting, unhygienic bastard. It was not. I just have normal teeth. But now, I might need to redo them actually. Buy some more. Oh, mate. I don't know. It's like, the thing is like, yeah, you don't want to be the one to put your gun down. You don't want to be the one with yellow teeth. This is the nuclear weapons thing. Yeah, sure. If only one, like, you got them, so I need to get them now. Otherwise, I don't get them. I'm in the shit. Yeah, I don't think it quite works, but mutually assured distraction. I suppose having yellow teeth is that, and then you just end up in this fucking arms race where you go, well, now we've all got white teeth. I need to have the whitest teeth, and then somebody gets the whitest teeth, and then all of our teeth look yellow until I'm the last person with whitened teeth that hasn't uber whitened them, and everybody who's uber whitened them looks like Ryan Seacrest, and I'm just there with my normal white teeth going, but now my teeth look fucking yellow again. So it will never stop until we all just get turkey teeth. You know what turkey teeth are? I didn't. They are when you go to Turkey and have, like, the only way is Essex teeth put in. And they do them in Turkey so you can have a nice time, get away from it all, recover. I wouldn't mind having lower eyelid surgery there. But again, that's like me. You're not allowed to look natural. Anyway, I've got to get to the gym now because, I want to look good. I want to look nice for you. It'd look distracting. Fat people are healthy. Fat people are great. Yeah, but not again, exceptions don't prove rules. So yeah, I'm sure there are healthy fat people. It's just not as likely as if you're in great shape. What a controversial moment. Fucking people. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to the Alfie Brown Show. Have a pleasant week. Regularly scheduled programming can now commence. I go to Australia soon, and there'll be work out how to do the podcast when I'm there. That'll be important. But for now, have pleasant weeks. Don't forget to vote for me in the Chortle Awards, and keep well. And and the like. Bye.